Joining.
Here we go. I love seeing the familiar faces each week. It's wonderful. Oh, I see Chris. Awesome. Hi, Stephen. How are you? Good to see you again. Hi, Jim. Chris, how are you doing? I haven't seen you since Ireland.
Yeah, doing well. Just in a train currently. Limited reception.
Ah, awesome. Well, I hope it's a good day for you. Awesome. Hi, Jim. How are you? I got two Jims on here. That's good. Jim Bonnerdale. One of the announcements that I do have to make this morning, because I do have several, is all about AUVSI and the Drone Pros. So you want to do a quick shout out about the Drone Pros? I know we're coming your way at Silent Electric Flyers.
That's right. Actually, for the AUVSI week, we're kind of busy down there at the field. We'll be having a few little events, but of course, what we're talking about is Drone Safety Day on the 27th from about 9 in the morning to almost 3 p.m. We'll be going, as late as people are there. If you haven't been to the Silent Electric Flyers field in San Diego, it is home of the very first dedicated rotorplex in the USA, an area dedicated for multi-rotor operations. And we are within 2.5 miles of a major airport, and we are a FRIA. So there'll be a lot of great flying happening down there. We're inviting people to come. Of course, we'll be having the trust certificate signups. You can do trust certificates there. We'll have computer systems online. So if you need to join the AMA, you can do that there. If you want to join the Silent Electric Flyers, you can do that there also. But we're basically opening up the field to visitors to come in there, check the place out, and of course, participate in Drone Safety Day with a lot of great lectures, a lot of great professionals, and even some drone soccer, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Looking forward to that.
Oh, good stuff. A lot of great stuff happening. Just San Diego is just booming right now with stuff in the industry happening. So awesome. Look forward to seeing everybody there. I am going to put a link in there that if you'd like more information on it. But registration is not required because it's free to everybody. Just come and visit and say hello. But I will put a link in there if you want to get more information. Also, I want to say thank you to Sheila, who's going to be running behind the scenes for me, letting people in. We do have several people getting in here to say hello today. I love that. I want to do a big shout out for the sponsor for today, which is Professor Drones. I'll give you a link for that. They design, develop, audit, and teach. And their specialty is hazmat and pipelines. So that's pretty cool. If you want to be a sponsor, we would love it, right? There's actually some options for you. So I'll give you a link and you can check that out. More happening at AUVSI, women in drones. A lot of people have reached out to me and asked, hey, are we doing a meetup or anything like that? So Women in Drones is going to be having a book signing on the 24th, which is Wednesday. It starts at noon. So what we want to do is gather up everyone, maybe do meet and greet and mingle about 11:30, where the book signing is going to be. But we don't know where that is yet. We'll let you know, okay? But hope to meet up with everybody. It'll be awesome. Let's get a big old picture going on. Jim also mentioned all about our Drone Safety Day. I am going to put another link in there about what is Drone Safety Day all about. And so this is a FAA link so that you can either create an event or you can join one. And it's on April 27th this year. It's a yearly thing that the FAA does, and it's all about safety and awareness. So I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to check that out as well. So I am going to put all of that information into our chat. But while I am getting that prepared for you, I want to make sure that you are gearing up for our spotlight speaker today. We have Dr. Luthi, and she is amazing. She has a background in workforce development and engineering education. She's developed and implemented various federal, STEM education and diversity programs in higher education over her professional career. I'm super excited to have you, Kimberly. Thank you for joining us today. And I am going to segue over to you and make you spotlight for everybody. Welcome aboard.
Thanks, Desi. Let me share my screen again and get us started.
All
So, everyone see my screen?
It's coming. We got it. Yes.
Good, good. All right. Well, thank you, Desi, again. I'm looking forward to AUVSI as well. I will be, thanks to Christian Yankee, who is, you just pointed out, still in the call from Berlin, Germany. He is our program chair of our Uncrewed and Autonomous Systems program, and I am the associate program chair, learning from his mentorship. So I want to thank Chris for everything he's put forward here and all the partnerships that he has created long before my time. And I will be at AUVSI, and Chris is also a member of our Drone Master Academy. So he is set up for, panel speaker, but because he's in Berlin, he's allowing me to speak in his place for the Battle of Autonomous Tech Talent. So if you were there, hopefully you'll check that out as well. And again, I'm just bringing insights from academia, and we're really looking at career pathways and creating pathways and uncrewed systems for a lot of our non-traditional learners. And I'm excited about this topic because I am considered a non-traditional learner. So as Desi pointed out, my background spans about 15 years in higher education, working in partnership with industry on career pathways in robotics, engineering technology, and uncrewed systems. And with that, we've received a lot of NSF funding and FAA funding to advance this pipeline into our future workforce, and how to, a lot of the research is looking at those skills gaps. So for all of those on the call or listening, wherever you are at, we know that you may already be in industry, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Embry-Riddle. The focus of my talk today is not going to be a whole background of who we are, because if you look at the recordings, Desi had Patrick Sherman on a few weeks ago, and he gave a fantastic talk about the history of our university. And just a quick segue, we are one of the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University is one of the oldest, largest accredited universities. It's private, focused on aviation and aerospace. So we opened our doors in 1925, and we have 3 different campuses. One is our worldwide campus, and that serves primarily military and veterans and adult learners. And then we also have our brick and mortar campuses. So I am going to focus on some of the opportunities there are within our curriculum, and also available through our professional education programs that you can access. So some of our simulators, some of our courses that really focus on building your own business and what it takes for an entrepreneur to enter the industry. All right, let me get these slides moving. There it is. So again, just a little bit, Christian Yankee, who is here with us today, is over this BS and AS program in uncrewed systems. We just brought an associate degree program in because we've had so much interest from our U.S. Naval Community College students. So we're giving them academic educational pathways as well as career pathways. So we have certificates that students can get along the way. They can go through our whole 120 credit hour BS program, or the 60-hour AS program, or jump into our professional education programs throughout. So just know there's programs for you. We also have our graduate program, and a lot of these 4+1 allow you to work towards that bachelor's program and then also start in those master classes. So again, reach out to Chris Yankee if you have any questions about entering the program and what it takes. And again, so we've got about 100 campuses in the United States, around 120, 114, 120 across the globe. But we really focus on our military veteran populations, special needs populations. We have a strong English language program to help students who are just professional ed students trying to enter the industry and work internationally who need to be able to skill up in those areas. And again, I'm associate program chair for our worldwide campus. And if you have had an opportunity to visit our brick and mortar campuses, we have around 5,000 students in our Daytona Beach campus and 3,000 in our Prescott, Arizona campus. And our programs align. So we meet continuously with both campuses to make sure that whatever we're offering the students, if they transition to the worldwide campus or the brick and mortar campuses don't have many summer classes, so they'll jump into worldwide to take their online courses as well. So we love visiting those campuses, and also we have a residency component that we partner with the campuses on. So a little more about our programs. What it does offer are students who are active military, who are location-bound students, non-traditional students, working adults. Most of our students are 35 and older. We have a large percentage of veterans enter our programs, and it offers them the opportunity to get a degree that specializes in uncrewed and autonomous systems. And we have some students also in our BS program that have a interest in uncrewed systems. And we're noticing as students move into our fields that we're getting students from human factors, data analytics, maintenance, cybersecurity, interested in some of our courses because we're intertwining so many of these topics and concepts to support our curriculum. And one big thing is, the students not only can take our courses, but they have an opportunity in the undergraduate program to take our minor in small UAS. So they'll be able to go through a program and get that flight experience rather than just the theoretical experience and sim experience that we offer in our program. So we do highly recommend students to do that. And then in the master's program, they can take a specialization of courses. And we've been growing. So our program has expanded especially with our new partnerships with the the U.S. Naval Community College students. We've just really been growing. So we've seen our numbers double, and we've just had a lot of interest now that we have put our courses into the core BSA, so the Bachelor's of Science in Aeronautics. And just a little bit more about our partnership. This has been just recently developed. I know, Desi, you have had Joe Soretta on a few of your calls, and you are a remote pilot instructor yourself who've gone through our training, and you've just really done a lot to encourage our students to be involved with women in drones, and these partnerships have expanded into all of our classes. So I know that our professors have enjoyed just really encouraging everyone to be involved. And I think whether it's Society for Women Engineers, even our Women International groups, we're doing a lot of work in bridging these partnerships so that we have a lot of strong male advocates that realize there's a book out there in aviation called Good Guys, that we just know that there's so many supporters of these non-traditional students in these pathways. And a little bit about myself. Being able to be a remote pilot allows me as a mom of 3 girls to be very involved in their lives and not have to take a full day, to go and fly, but I can do short missions planning here in the house and be able to have some work-life balance and also enjoy the sport of flying, and have that as part of my profession. So I have loved it. Just being able to work with the students. I'm teaching right now. I have about 58 students in our business operations courses, and it is just fun to see all the different business ideas and business models. And one thing, I encourage a lot of them to come on the call today, but we get to see how many women there are in the industry doing startup companies and having these ideas to really join a workforce that has been primarily male dominated. And we see that because we've raised the bar a lot in my career. About 10 years ago, I think women in engineering, as a whole, even robotics included in that, was around 14%. So we saw a lot of National Science Foundation throwing so much funding into programs like Advance and money into non-traditional students. So I did a lot of my work in those spaces. And now we're at that, 24, 25%. So we've really raised the bar there in such a short period of time. And then we have these emerging technologies that we have opportunities to support more diverse groups, especially active military, veterans, and these non-traditional adult students. So these partnerships are important, and we are really excited at just seeing so many of our students and faculty members involved. One thing that you may be interested in is the professional education opportunities to get your feet wet. So that, along with, let's say you already got your bachelor's, you're already well on your way, you can go back and go into our professional education courses. And Joe Soretta and the Department of Flight team have just done a fixed wing course that is fantastic. And we also have PICS 4D course. There's a photogrammetry course. We have just made sure that whatever we do, there are scalable industry recognized certifications along the way in any of our programs. So if we have students coming through, we don't want them just to have this theoretical knowledge, but the opportunity to be able to say, I also have these certificates that I've done along the way and I'm recognized by Embry-Riddle to be a master in these areas. So another thing that's important, that we really show through this partnership, that there's opportunities for anyone who's interested to go into our programs. Okay, so one thing that a lot of you seem to be familiar with, because Desi talks about it constantly and always, but the AUVSI administration also offers a industry certification through our top programs. So I think one thing that we've recognized internationally is that there are different kinds of and forms of testing, but a lot of those theoretical exams are all that are required. And industry, in order to be very appealing, we want our graduates to be able to come out and say, we have the skills, the knowledge, the compliance piece also to be able to show that we're insurable, that we are recognized by industry as capable as remote pilots. And we've gone through flight training and a practical flight assessment. So what we do is we have remote pilot instructors like myself go and help certify these students. And if they're in the graduate programs, they'll come through for a weekend and they'll do the flight training piece, and our undergraduate students as well. And it allows them to be able to do the top level trusted operator program, level 1, level 2, and they can go through level 3 if they have the right amount of flight hours. So it's a great opportunity for our students. And I'm seeing the chat go off. So I'm going to move forward a couple more slides. I'm going to take a break before I tell you about some of our simulators and things available for you. And just a couple insights into academia. So how are we transforming the workforce and creating this preparation for a skills gap that we're seeing? Well, our curriculum, like the course I'm in now, we've noticed that students can't come out just with the engineering mindset, and not have the business acumen needed to be able to transform the industry, especially with a lot of active military. They may be very competent flyers and comfortable with it, but they don't have that commercial pilot skills assessment needed to be able to say in hand, I am ready to be able to do some of these applications that we're seeing, in industry, especially when you're looking at like precision agriculture has 90% of the market, or maybe the market's saturated in aerial photography and they've been good at that. And we're looking at how do we prepare the workforce for some of these other things that are necessary, the insurance, the business acumen with contracts and the negotiation and being able to run a full staff of pilots that are not only trained, but compliant. So what does that legal aspect look like for our students? So that's part of transforming this traditional education system, is preparing the students for some of those things that, they may not be ready for. A lot of that being compliance and the mission planning and being able to speak to some of the things that they've learned, those learning outcomes in the course, saying that they've done risk assessment, they've taken 2-3 days in preparing these missions, and they know their company and their pilots are all ready and prepared to do this, and they know the platforms. And then a lot of that's difficult sometimes with students in an asynchronous environment. So we've created simulated environments that allow students to become confident early. and you can have access to some of these simulators. There's one called Erupt, and I know Patrick Sherman touched on that in his presentation, but you can go and practice before you come out to the residencies, before you fly, so that you can have all of your pilots in your companies go through that and feel comfortable in using a variety of aircrafts, not just their own, so that when they come to an employer, they can say, I've tried all these different kinds of platforms and I'm comfortable with it, and I've got this amount of time on the simulators along with my flight time. And I think the engagement of the non-traditional students is important, especially in the population we serve in these career pathways, because veterans, right now I'm a principal investigator of a population of students that we're looking at that are primarily peers leading peers, and we're in engineering pathways, and we're just seeing that so many of our veteran students and active military students have experiences that really relate and transition very easily into that commercial space, but they need guidance on that. So we're finding very good partnerships and mentorships for those students to be able to look at what some of those, skills look like in starting your own business, right, as a commercial drone pilot. And then that's where we're creating support structures to build commitment to any type of these career pathways. And then we show with the simulation software how students, there's no plagiarizing. Christian Yankee always says that you can't really plagiarize with sims because you have to create your own work, and we take screenshots of everything. You can see the amount of time folks are on there. So it's always really exciting to see how innovative students are when they're collaborating and part of the design and creation of their aircrafts in the sims. So how do we prepare for the students in the workforce? And this is just a little bit of what we do in the classroom. And we use SimNet Aero. That's a great simulator for flight planning and mission planning tool. And they can also create and design their aircrafts. Pix4D, and that would be our photogrammetry class that we use. The ERAU Erupt simulator is great. And then they have access to Real Flight Sim. If they want to buy the software, we also offer some of the discounts through our bookstore. But is there any questions so far before I jump into some of the other slides?
Oh, that's a great segue. Yes, there was one that had gotten posted earlier about any scholarship opportunities for women or anything along those lines.
We have a strong women's network. So I keep talking about non-traditional groups because a lot of that, we're recognizing that those scholarships and those needs to bring women who are underrepresented in these areas, and especially women in engineering and robotics and in crewed system fields, need sometimes a little extra support. So we have scholarships available through Women International Group, and we have a women's council that if you are interested, I will set a link up. We can get you in touch with some scholarships that we do have available for group.
Awesome. So
any other questions?
Yeah, we do have another one in here. But I just wanted to let you know that every now and then it seems like the audio comes through a little bit choppy on my end. I don't know about anybody else. So if they're a little bit, okay. So if there's anything that you have missed or anything, feel free to reach out to us, because if you we could do the replay on it, we can get you more information. All right. So one of the questions in our chat was also about what partners would an ER diploma open for a graduate of the program? That was a great question coming in from Sheila. So what kind of partners would the diploma bring from Embry-Riddle?
Partnerships, like industry partnerships?
Yes. Oh, I think we lost her. So we have been battling a bad connection. And so we hopefully will get her right back in there, and we're going to get that question answered for you. All right, Sheila?
Oh, that's fine. I'm just curious. Because and then my other question is how much?
Yes.
it ain't gonna be cheap, right? Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Yes, that's exactly. Okay, I'm gonna give a little. I did ask people at the table a couple of years ago at UAV Expo. I mean, what does a diploma from Embry-Riddle get me out in the real world? I mean, people don't really know much about UAV yet. So, I mean, what's the point of me bootstrapping my business and footing out thousands of dollars for a diploma that, yeah, it's recognized and accredited. I get that. And I am an educator, but that's me.
So
That's me. That's my side.
I
Just
feel
asking.
that the industry, now that it's starting to evolve more, I think you're starting to see more credibility in that direction. There's obviously, like anything, opportunities no matter what you do, depending on the hard work and dedication that you put in. But I am finding also that now that this industry has evolved more, Jim has said no one is asking for
We have her back. We have Kimberly back. I'm just
training.
saying. I'm just saying. I see her.
Okay, so she's coming back
Well,
now.
Sheila, I love the question. Yeah.
I'm going to make you spotlight for everyone.
Desi, please.
and You're good. Go. You're back.
Good. Can you still see my screen too?
Yes, you're back. Well, you need to
Am I
bring
chop?
you need to bring your PowerPoint back up. But you look still choppy, so let's hope we go good. Scholarships available for uncrewed programs or your manned programs. Uh-oh, I think there's still a little laggy. Yep, Jim said frozen on his end too. She's starting the screen share. So that's one of the things I love about the Coffee Connection. We're just putting it out there. We're all real and working
And
for it.
I know I'm an outlier. I know I'm a non-traditional learner with this particular, industry, but just curious, and I am learning every day still. It's still like drinking from a fire hose every day, which I love. I do. Oh, and then is there a safety aspect that's taught in the UAV classes? Because I believe there needs to be with all the remote
Absolutely.
ID and people coming at you and you don't know where they're coming from. And just speaking from somebody who's out there on their own, and I do look for people before I launch, but they sneak up on us. So
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, good.
You're all set. We see your
Good.
screen.
Okay. So can you hear me? You can hear me and see me.
We're all good.
Sheila, I think, oh, good. Sheila, I think you make some good points there because what we deal with a lot is that, I think anywhere in academia in the ivory tower is why do we need this theoretical knowledge when we've got a career pathway set? And I that public acceptance of the degrees is going to vary. So it could be, as we see Christian always talked about with me that, public acceptance may lag behind, but we have the opportunity to show the UAS as a tool and an application in the workforce, whether it's a ladder, whether it's a telescope, however we're using it, it's just a tool for industry to give us access and make things more sustainable, overall. So what do the degrees do? And just like I'm telling you, what does a MBA do, right? This is saying that now we've created these programs, whether it's the certificates or our whole BS program, if you don't have one already, that's not only making me competent as a remote pilot, but also showing not only do I have the flight assessment piece, but I've also learned everything under the sun about compliance, regulation, contracts, the legal and regulatory environments. And then I also have the business acumen to back that. And we require a lot of that. The business plans, they go through, in this course that I'm teaching now, a whole entire business model. So they're ready. And they actually call in the white pages just regional UAS businesses and say, what's gone wrong? What kind of insurance do you have? What's the specs on your company? Who's employed? So I think part of that, if students can speak to their learning outcomes, depending on the type of business they're trying to put forward. We really prepare them for it. But yeah, that's just, I think, that public awareness of what we do and who we are is going to be very different coming from Embry-Riddle because of the aviation aerospace recognition that we have, within the industry. But are there any more questions out there? And I'll
Yes.
just jump ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
Going back to the scholarships, are there scholarships
Mhm.
available for uncrewed programs or only for the manned or crewed degrees?
They're general, so we don't have them specific to our program, but we have a lot of advocates for our programs. So that's what we try to have a diverse group receive the scholarships. So that's just something that we always have the students programs within the career interest, and then who's recommending them for that. So absolutely, we make sure to have them across all fields.
Awesome. Okay, we've got one more as well. Does Embry-Riddle help other adults 40 plus students get paid internships while they're learning? Or are they just after they take a course, get certified? Are there any other supports? What's that follow-up that people can count on as far as finding a job afterwards?
Sure. So we have about a 90% placement rate in the industry. So, with that comes all of our partnerships. So Embry-Riddle has a lot of the partnerships with leading industries and uncrewed systems. And that means the students have an opportunity to do co-ops. And that's an internship or a cooperative partnership with an industry where they can get paid. And we set the amount of time, and you have a one-on-one faculty advisor. And then you work within that industry to be able, or industry partner, to be able to make money while getting some workforce experiences. So we do offer that, and we have a pretty strong career services center that can partner you with the exact kind of employer that you're looking to be with.
That's great. 90%. That is great. That pretty much answers all the questions right now in the chat. If anybody else has questions, throw them into the chat and we can move forward if you'd like.
All right. So just kind of a little bit about our commitment. I think looking at the workforce needs, we do a lot within the creative problem solving with the students. And we teach, like I was saying, how to build some of this early confidence. So we've noticed a lot of our students may be more comfortable. They bought a drone, they enjoy flying, they're really into aerial photography, right? But they're not real confident in the mathematical skills, the technology related skills. So when you do have, we do a risk assessment, and we're looking at some of these issues that are coming into play, like what do we do with the data, right? How do we protect the data? What does this look like, in cybersecurity fields? What do we do in the maintenance field? We want to be able to have any of our graduates come out and feel really comfortable being able to say, I can do the maintenance part, or, I really can do the data analytics along with what I'm doing. So that's where you're building careers in these new fields where we're seeing a lot of the skills gaps. And we have a really verbose industry advisory board. So most of those folks are in industry advising us on how to direct our curriculum in order to meet those needs. And that's really important. So we need to know who's developing our curriculum, and that those folks are in industry right now, knowing what's missing from that senior leadership, not only the technician, the frontline staff, the remote pilots, but also on the backside, who's keeping, the businesses in compliance and safe. So that's just something we're looking at. And as we notice, I think future directions, everything's becoming more affordable with these technologies, and that saturates the market a little more, because that there's a lot of folks out there flying now that we have so many of the systems and platforms more available to us as consumers. So how can we set ourselves apart? And I think that's what's important about going for some of these industry recognized certifications and degrees. All right, so just some of the benefits of our simulation platforms. If you want to jump on, to the Erupt, it's great to use. And I know that some of you have already been on it and testing it out. But, we really have an opportunity to have the students be more creative. It's this constructivist learning strategies where they're building things as they're going in this collaborative learning environment. And that's really important. And also the visualization, the problem solving, the challenge-based products, they can come right out. You can come when you use this and say, I've already worked in teams. So I've worked with teams and collaboratively amongst different remote pilots while in these courses and building the types of aircrafts that I'm using out in the field. Okay, and then, you know, through the activities and assignments, we have tutorials from all of our Department of Flight and our faculty members. Christian Yankee go through every single course and does the videos, reads the videos, works with the students, so everything's relevant. And I think that's just really important. And the students get used to mission planning, and they can create the different types of UAS platforms they're using, and then what application is best for. And it's just neat because you have students with all kinds of experiences who already own businesses in these classes, being able to talk about what type of aircrafts they're using and why, and what kind of changes would they make. And this is just a little bit, I just wanted to show you some of the screenshots of the actual platforms. Okay, and then also SimNet is available resource. You know, when you do sign up for our programs, a lot of the software that's typically, you know, double the amount, you know, to an individual just trying to buy it, we get it at a very reduced price. So they'll pay about a third for the simulation platform. SimNet's right now around that $75, and students really love it. The student satisfaction rates are great. So just additional considerations for anyone interested in joining a program or utilizing these platforms just for tools. We encourage you to start out in that professional education courses. You know, just you could take one and you can look at also if you've got that theoretical knowledge through the Part 107, you know, the top certificate level 1, level 2, level 3, just prepare you even more to be able to show that you have the performance evaluation necessary. You understand the standards needed by industry. And I think as we continue to grow our programs, we're doing a lot more in those policy and regulation areas so that every student coming out really has a strong idea of these changes that are needed in industry, whether it's your remote ID, just really understanding where we're growing, what the industry market looks like, and being able to speak to that so that they can help businesses scale up and grow. And just, you know, in summary, if you have any questions, you can reach out, but we just see that software that I will put some links in for you to use is huge with our programs. So they're not just getting theoretical base, but they're really having all of our industry advisory board members validate the software, understand the certificates we offer, and be able to come out and be able to tell clients, as well as the insurers, that this is why our pilots are confident in being able to do some of these. I
hope we didn't freeze. I didn't get to hear the end of that. And
Yeah, it seems frozen here too. Bummer.
Kimberly, I don't know if you can hear us.
Still
we
there, but
You have a couple questions into our chat, but I don't know if she'll be able to answer them at the moment.
we'll see.
Oh, somebody dropped off. And
Hear me?
oh, we do. Yay. No, I think she's
Oh, we lost her, I think.
yeah,
Bummer.
yeah, just in the time when we we're about to ask some questions.
Oh, there she is. There she is. I see her.
Coming back.
That was fast.
Yeah, this is good. This is very good. I don't know if
I'm going to keep my video off. I'm not.
okay.
Oh, okay.
We do have some questions.
Yeah, I'll just keep my video off. I'm not sure what's happening.
Okay.
Sure.
But we do have some questions that popped up into our chat. Do you have scholarships for online learning or out of state students?
And we brought in a couple of scholarships. And if you can hear me, yes. Through Worldwide, we're all distance learners. So those scholarships are available for both the brick and mortar residential campuses and online.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. All right, and then all states have professional, this is a comment more, I think. All states have professional licensing requirements for land surveying. More of us land surveyors are getting into this as well. It may be an idea to explore with fewer land surveyor programs throughout the US and probably elsewhere. Cal State University of Fresno is in California is a good choice. And we got a thumbs up on that. So that just really brings up a good point of, you say how it's a tool. Drones, we've always heard that is drones were a tool, but through Embry-Riddle, there's so many verticals of how you can develop your business and what you can do with it. And one of the things I always say is you find that passion inside of you. What is the direction you want to go, and how are you going to be able to utilize this? Embry-Riddle has always been a school that focuses also on that practical flight assessment. So can you share a little bit about what does that mean when someone is thinking about, okay, I'm taking it a step farther. Now I have to actually show the actual flight skills that I have. What does that entail through one of the classes or courses that you offer, Kimberly?
Sure. So, other than the simulation's a big part of that. So everything they do, we've done, especially through TOP, through a simulator. So they can go, and there's a group of buckets that we've created, just standards. So you can be able to show, let's say you're doing long range, some type of construction project. You have a long range profession where you're trying to show that you can do inspections, everything that you would want to be able to show that you can measure commercially. So I've got these skills, the knowledge, and also these applications that occur across fields. So we have it set up now where not only are they coming to the residency, and we use drone logbook, but any kind of pre-planning assessment tool that we have in mission planning, and the students will do that. So they go through their frat, we go through our pre-planning checklist, and then they'll come out to the fields, and wherever we have it set up, a lot of times we just have partners in the area in Daytona Beach that will set up lanes, and we have different buckets that the students have to be able to, within a certain amount of time, take off and take pictures at different trajectories around these buckets, and it builds on itself. So level 1 is a little easier, and then we move into level 2, and the big thing is that they'll be able to quickly move, take pictures, move the gimbal, move forward, be able to do different kinds of spirals, just techniques that are actually fun. In the end, you've got a lot of us out there just trying to see if we can beat each other, but it's just showing that there's a standard and measures behind some of these compliance pieces that you don't have when you've just come out to industry saying, yeah, I'm a really good pilot. A remote pilot. Well, do you know all the safety? Have you been part of debriefs? And I think, who's your air boss? What's the job of the visual observer? So we're doing a lot of those things that they wouldn't get unless you're flying together. Just a great experience. I know you have a lot of students on here that have been previously involved in the residencies that get a chance to work with the instructors and have become, remote pilots and work in industry now. So I think that's the other piece, is we really connect a lot of our students to alumni in the industry, that when they come to the residency, they get to meet, our instructors and also make those connections. So that talent pipeline is pretty much coming through the minor. So the recommended minor, it'll take 235 or 435, or our graduate classes in that specialization, 520. And they get a chance to go through that. And if they take your 30 hours of flight time, you can move into level 3. And we have a lot of students do choose to go that direction once they've reached the hours.
Awesome.
Or move on to remote pilot instructors.
Did that also.
I know you did. And it is fun. I hate to say it, but we really have a lot of fun out there. And, we specialize in aviation, but our program really hits all spheres. So we not only hit ground, maritime, space, but it's really phenomenal to see the experts that come out from all those different domains. And even though we specialize in air, because that's where we see primarily, the job market being right now. Vern Schultz, who is over at AUVSI, is doing a lot in the maritime area now. So students get to dabble a little bit in each sector and be able to have those conversations and feel more confident if they're going to go out into some of those areas, especially in the maintenance piece that we're seeing is really growing.
Oh, yes. I've seen that too on that maintenance side of things. And so it's good to have that well-rounded knowledge. That's
Mhm.
fantastic. There's another question. Actually, we've got a lot of conversation going on in our chat. Is
Sure.
there an eVTOL piloting course coming?
Say that again.
Is there an eVTOL course coming?
Yes, Department of Flight. I will definitely tell you that when it comes to professional education, we give pieces of what we have in our current curriculum. And Chris Yonke is always putting sections and pieces of that into our current curriculum. So, you don't want a whole degree to be focused on eVTOL, but you want to be able to make sure students are comfortable along the way. And that's where we have a number of courses where they're getting to build those skills and knowledge base through that. But yes, I will leave that to professional education and Department of Flight to be able to make those announcements.
Awesome. All right. Can you tell us a little bit more about the certificates and specifically maybe 108 certificate?
Yeah, so what they'll do, so what you have is 18 credit hours, right, for your certificate. So you can do that, and that's an Embry-Riddle certificate. What I like when I say it's industry validated, our top trusted operator program certificates, that level 1, level 2, level 3, that's going to be recognized globally, internationally, as a industry recognized certificate. Now, Embry-Riddle is as well, so that's an academic certificate that you hold. So within that, you're getting to pick some of our core courses, and you have an opportunity to take the maritime course if you want. You can take a course focused on space operations, but you're primarily sticking in that air domain, and you can take the courses on business operations. You're looking at UAS applications, and then if you want to do our professional education certificates, that's where it's built out. So you can do one on photogrammetry, you could do the fixed wing course, and then you can also do any of those top level 1, level 2, level 3 courses.
Awesome. So,
yep. And then for more details, I will say, go back, we've got 3 recordings now from the profession, those that really focus on teaching just the professional education part of the things, that if you go back to Patrick Sherman's talk, he really lays it out for you too in that recording. Mm-hmm.
Yes, check out the replays, right? And
hey,
the link out in all.
Can't let a good thing disappear. Yeah, I love those replays.
Yeah. So I have just a couple more questions. So back to Adrian's question about, are there going to be any programs geared towards the Part 108 certificate as opposed to a Part 107?
Yeah, I don't think we've touched on that yet. I mean, right now we're having students even in our BS and our AS program. We're just encouraging them to get the Part 107 because we have so many folks who are coming, mostly active military and veterans, that need to move into that commercial side. So at this point, we are not in that piece. I know Chris is still on the call. I think it's just something to consider for the future and what that market looks like, and how many folks we think would be going that direction. I think Chris had to jump off there. But it's a good question. And I do know that, as we develop our curriculum, it could be something that we're doing within professional education for the future.
Awesome. Sign me up. Right. So just out of curiosity, we did have a question about how many top level 3 people are there? Do you know?
That came through our program? I don't know overall, because at each residency, I will say we probably have maybe a 4th who go that direction. It's a little intimidating. You went through it yourself. Some people, it's just the intimidation factor of making those spirals and being able to move it in a certain amount of time that you have to practice before. But I'll say about a 4th. So every class, every residency has around that 30, folks. And, we'll have about 5 who are doing their top residency or their top level 3 residency from that. So that kind of gives you, you know, a feel for where we're at.
Awesome. So I'm not
That's
sure.
a better question for the AUVSI. And I'm
Yeah,
wondering, you know, I'll find someone at the conference to figure out how many we have outside of Embry-Riddle that get that level 3.
yeah, that would be great. Great to find out. So you said you were planning on going to AUVSI.
Mhm.
So we could plan to see you, maybe come by the Women in Drones booth and for our book signing, get in on our picture. That would be fantastic. I would like to, I know we're just about out of time, so I'd like to just kind of wrap it up with maybe some of your last comments about the partnership that we think is so fantastic with Women in Drones and how you see that maybe playing out or the future and just some of the positive aspects of that.
I just think whatever we're doing, you look at a diverse workforce and the innovation needed to bring non-traditional folks into these spaces is so important. So with this partnership, are we supporting women in these areas? Yes. You know, are they new in the area? I think in engineering and engineering technology, like I talked to you, we are just making huge headways into preparing spaces for women to advance as leaders, as founders of new businesses, as CEOs. And we see that through those who come to your show, Desi. So I think we support that. And as women, we're the gatekeepers. And I love that we have so many male advocates in this area. And again, you know, Women in Drones, the partnership, all we're showing is you have to make way for any non-traditional folks in spaces that they may feel a little bit more like an imposter, an outsider. Why so? We know that even K through 12, you know, I look at my daughters, they're less likely to be gaming or be more comfortable with the remote because they might have not hung out in that area through a pipeline that they're trying to join later in life. So what do? We just need more support to say that you belong here, you know, and be confident in this area. What does it mean to have the business acumen you need to be able to say, I'm the CEO of my company. I not only am a remote pilot instructor, but I belong in this space and I have male advocates who are here for me to be able to meet us in industry, to be able to show that we are creating a difference. We're building, you know, bridges to be able to deal with that skills gap because of our innovation, because of what we bring to the field. So just an important topic for me. And I know that, you know, I've had to move myself into that area and learn based off the support of other women who have encouraged me to jump right in, along with a lot of men in the field. So I appreciate it. And thank you for letting me talk. Again, I'm here to support you, whether you want to go into graduate program, the undergrad program, you just want a certificate, or you just want to do the fixed wing course, whatever you want in professional education. I'd love to tell you more about it. And I'd love to meet you in person at AUVSI. So reach out if you need anything. And Desi, thanks for having me. I'm so sorry about the internet glitches. I'm sure that was annoying for anyone trying to listen.
Well, we are just so glad that you were able to jump on several times. The information was fantastic. What an inspiration. I love that note that we're going to be ending on. It's so powerful and inspiring to so many. We even have a couple comments in there as far as like, thank you for being a voice for women in the engineering and aviation, which is so true. And then thank you so much. A lot of thank yous in there celebrating you. Thank you very much for taking your time and sharing with us.
There's a quote that I love that's don't talk about us without us. And I think it's really neat to have us, that you're bringing this group and this partnership up so that we have a voice in the industry and in the space as we watch it grow. So
I love it. And I love the part where you said they're good guys, because I love that aspect of it too. So now I have a name and they're good guys. All right. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you next week. And a lot of celebrations going on into our chat. And have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. Can't wait to see you next week. Hopefully, I get to see you in person. Right? All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Kimberly. That kind of wraps it up.